Soulgarden. It's Friday, it's finally Friday, and it's Law of Circulation Week. I have the greatest clip to show you guys. Christopher just recorded it last week. It's the top 10 reasons why light casts fail. Check it out right after this. It's a small sample of all the wonderful content we have in Soul Nirvana.
Hello, my fellow light gardeners, and welcome now to Soulgarden Presents. And in this case, Soulgarden presents the top 10 reasons a light cast may fail. Being in the unique position that I'm in, seeing into the souls of so many, trying to encourage people to step into their power and create the reality they want, I have witnessed a top 10 list of reasons why manifestation will shut down on an individual. And rather than talk about the philosophy, let's dive right into the list, shall we? Starting with number 10. The number 10 reason people will miss light cast or not light cast is a lack of faith. People at the core say they believe in manifesting their own reality, but they don't really. Now, how do you know the difference? I'll give you an example. A lot of clients have a hard time accepting the fact that they are their own creator because they've gone through so much trauma and pain in their life, right? It's hard to believe that you created all that trauma. It really is. If you understand the engineering of reality and the dynamics of light casting your reality, you will soon learn it. But if you haven't studied it, you don't understand. As a result, you are responsible for everything negative in your life and everything positive. And if you're trying to light cast winning the lottery, your personal love, or whatever, but you're at the same time in the back of your conscience blaming God or feeling like a victim from the universe for those things that have happened, you're not in your power. You must believe you are the creator of your own universe. You must stand in your power, and that means you must accept responsibility for everything bad that's happened to you. Now that you learn to light cast and come into your power, of course, in the future, you will make different choices with that power. But young, naive, before you learned all this, you accidentally missed light cast, and you are the creator of your pain, and you are the creator of your joy. So, lack of faith, number 10. Now, number 9, the law of learning. This is a very important one, and it goes across many different directions. But in essence, the universe is most interested in your learning. Many people are trying to ask for things that are beyond their learning. In other words, they're asking for things that they've already manifested. Have you ever noticed, for instance, that let's say you used to be quite a player, you always had your way with the women, you could always work your way in any conversation, and then one day you just can't do it anymore? It's not that so much you've lost the power. It's that the universe is done. You've learned that already. God conscious is not going to spend more energy on something you've already light casted. You want to be working on your new lessons, working on the next chapter for yourself. So by putting your light cast in order with what you're learning and what your lessons are, there's a greater percentage of chance that it's going to come to fruition. Another part of this law of learning is skipping steps. A lot of people, I find, are trying to light cast basically the cart before the horse. And if you want to know the order of learning, it's in a standard chart. It's ego first house, soul capital second, communication third, ground family foundation fourth, right? So you can't light cast a home family foundation, a new home and family to the greatest perspective of what you want to be if you're stuck in a third house transit or an intellectual transit, or if you're still stuck in a soul capital transit. How are you going to manifest home family in a big house if you're still working on soul capital? You must follow the steps, and if you want to know the direction of the steps, it is the order of the clock. And the major planets will help you, and astrologer will help you with what's coming next and whatnot. It is all relative, but it's all under the law of learning. If you're light casting in the direction of your personal spiritual growth, it will come to fruition. If you're light casting against it, crickets from the universe. Number 8, you lack a plan B. Plan B. And you're probably saying, Christopher, you're telling us we can manifest any reality you want, and you're saying come up with a plan B? Yes, it's called non-attachment, which is what the entire Buddhist philosophy is about, by the way. The entire religion practicing non-attachment. Non-attachment is the ability to energetically detach from the wish, the light cast, or whatever, and allow God to do her job. We are co-creators with the universe, not unicreators. We need God universe to take over where we left off, which means we have to let go and let God. Now, that said, the best way to do it is to come up with a plan B. Universe, I would like to be a celebrity about this, And if that's not in the cards for me, I would like this. All right? Now, sometimes they give the universe an absurd plan B, one that I know in my heart I don't really want. That's okay. I'm still not attached. I still put myself in the position of, I wonder which one God is going to bring me, but confident that God will. Now, moving on to the next one. Number 7, spiritual bankruptcy. A lot of souls are asking for things their soul can't pay for. In other words, you don't have the soul capital. You're asking for things you don't have the self-confidence to actually deal with, right? So for instance, God, universe, I want the hottest bombshell chick in the world. That's what I want. Do you have the self-confidence to deal with the hottest bombshell chick in the world? Do you have the soul capital to deal with it? You have to have the confidence. The universe will not give you something you don't feel you deserve. That's not how it works. Because what you be is what comes. So if you are a nerdy, no confident, lack of any type of spinal cord kind of soul, where you're very young, you haven't learned anything, you're going to draw in the same in the opposite sex or same sex. Because that's what you are. You will always draw in what you are, and you will always draw in accordance to your soul capital. So if you want to draw in $1 million, you must genuinely, spiritually feel on the inside that you're worth $1 million and more. You must actually feel priceless in order to have complete free reign of your power. Moving on to number 6. Many people have a virus in their programming. What do I mean by that? We're talking belief structure. And by virus, I'm kind of meaning computer virus, right? Many people will cast and say, I want this to happen, or I want this in my life, but their beliefs have contradictory laws or a virus in their belief structure. And I'll give you an example. Let's say a person, a little girl, I want to be a celebrity in life, all right? I want to be a celebrity. Universe, make me a celebrity. That's what I want. I want to be a star, the center of attention. I want to be on stage. Okay, but let's say that little girl at age 6 said to herself, oh, wow, people who are famous all have really big breasts, or all have blonde hair, or I notice they all are beautiful, or they're all 5'2", or they're all skinny, right? So to you little girl, you made this belief that this is what celebrities are. Now fast forward to age 24. Universe, I want to be a celebrity. But maybe when it comes to your own beliefs about yourself, you feel like your breasts are too small, or your hair is not blonde enough, or you're not short enough. You don't believe you have all the qualifications, yet you're asking for it. Now, God conscious doesn't have any qualifications, but God conscious does run the program you hand to it, or her, whatever you want to do. So if you hand a belief saying, I want to be a celebrity, but in the background, I don't really believe I am qualified, the universe is like, well, you asked for it, but you're not qualified. You're not qualified. The universe gives you what you want, gives you what you believe, and many times what is holding back the magic is, in fact, paradoxes or conflicting beliefs, which I call a virus in the system. All right, moving on. Number 5, it must be anti-weed certified. What do I mean by that? Well, essentially, the universe wants you to grow up. The universe wants you to rid yourself of weeds, rid yourself of trauma, all right? And strangely enough, I find that when you ask for something that is part of your weakness, like an alcohol light-casting a drink, or a codependent woman trying to light-cast another husband that she knows she'll be codependent of or in, right? When you're aware of your weeds and you deliberately try to light-cast what you're bad at, I find the universe shuts you down because it's not anti-weed certified. Now you're probably asking, well, wait a second, how did I end up in that DUI and all this trouble and whatnot? You know how you ended up with that? You were unaware at the time of your weed. You didn't know what it was. It was acting on auto-program in a subconscious manner. Once you are conscious that this is a problem that plagues your life and you know better, it's been my experience as a light coach that the universe says, no way. The universe will bring you a lesson to get over the weed. The universe will bring you a weed whacker. The universe will bring you the resources necessary to heal the weed. But the universe will not let you deliberately grow the weed once you know it's a weed. It must be anti-weed certified. Moving on, number 4, no ego-only requests. What do I mean by ego-only requests? Well, that is a request or that is a light cast that comes from the ego only. Now, the ego is one of the 12 states of awareness. It's not all of us. It certainly seems like that sometimes, and for some, and that's the whole point. The universe does not put magic behind an ego. An ego is an earth-based conscious energy that kind of protects us from the world. And you may say to me, Christopher, how did so many egomaniacal people get their way on earth? I'll tell you, it wasn't God, it was them pushing. You can push on earth. You can force people into prisons. You can put a gun to people's heads. That is how ego-driven people get things done. if you haven't noticed, which is why we're trying to change the earth from ego-only requests, right? I don't think God consciousness is behind an ego-only request. God consciousness is not in front of an ego-only request either. I don't think God consciousness stops that type of thing. God consciousness did not stop Hitler. Humans did, right? There was not some magic miracle that just washed away and freed all the Jewish people. Humans had to go fight that war. Now, Hitler wasn't stopped by God, but I would say Hitler wasn't supported by God either. That answers one of those famous questions. How can God let something happen on the earth? Truth is, God universe lets anything happen on the earth. But God universe only supports and invests in some things. So, coming full circle, if your ego wants it for ego's sake, in other words, I want this fancy car so I can show all these people how cool I am and how dumb they are, that's for ego-only sake. You're not asking anything in behalf of God. You're asking for something with ego only. So it has been my experience that ego-only requests are usually denied by God universe, but ego-only requests or ego requests that come with spiritual advancement, all these other things, I do see get fulfilled all the time. So no ego-only requests. Number 3, this is one of the biggest reasons I see it. It's lacking love. Now, if you don't know, love is God. God, universe is love. It's the same vibration. At least what we feel as love is God conscious. When you feel love for someone, God is in your heart at that moment. It's God energy. And you lose sense of space, and you lose sense of time, and you get goosebumps, and you get hot waves. This is all the experience of channeling the vibration of love in our body. We're very, very familiar with it. But if you're trying to light cast something that you don't love, that means you can't put your own soul behind it. I know so many people who try to light cast things they don't love. I want this and this and this. They just do this huge vision board of everything they can possibly think of. You know, if it's a kid, it's everything in the Toys R Us catalog. If it's an adult, it's everything in a certain other catalog. And they don't love it. And then they say, oh, God doesn't support me, God doesn't love me, God doesn't show up for me at all. You don't love this. Here's the thing. If you love it, God universe does too. And if you love it, you will have it. It's only a matter of time. And if you can't put love behind the light cast, don't waste that precious time. Very important. Number 2 now. Don't do God universe's job. What do I mean by that? People forget all the time we're in a co-creatorship of the universe, which means you send out an order, God universe will give it back. But many people try to tell God universe how to do her job. They'll say in their light casting and incantations, I want it to be this way, I want it to be rolled out on a red carpet, I want these words spoken by my true love at the first 15 minutes. They get Virgo anal retentive. And I do mean Virgo. I must say, out of all my states of awareness clients, Virgos seem to be the worst at this particular one. They're way too detailed. And the universe has no room to co-create. You've been selfish when you have not given room in your request for God consciousness to create. And you make it impossible. Because you're not taking into account the entire universe like God consciousness is. God consciousness has to find a way to figure out to give you your request and accommodate everyone around you. This is part of the love thing, by the way, going to the last step. Do you know why God consciousness is behind anything you love? Because anything you love automatically fits into the rest of the soul collective. Things that you don't love, things that are born just from the ego, where you're separating yourself from God and mankind, these things are not in the big picture plan. So if you understand that love is behind it, which was point number 3, and then number 2, you have faith and let go and let God go do it and be open to how it comes back, that is essential. This is probably one of the biggest reasons. And the other thing I want to point out as well is God will always add interest to your light casting. So you want to see what she comes up with because it's always bigger and greater than what you could have imagined. When you are specifically detailed, you left no room for God universe to create. All right, and our final, number 1 reason that people can screw up or foul a light cast is, number 1, let go and let God. It's a build-up to everything we have said. You must let go of what you asked for, turn around, and forget about it. What I've seen so many times with clients is they will spend 15 minutes every day, the same list, the same thing, again and again. There's a point when you have said and done enough in you where your request is complete. If you have to add to your request, you weren't ready to light cast. That's why the universe takes a good 29 days in each transit, a whole month, a whole lunar cycle to work through one state of awareness, and then at the very end, we let go and let God. It's a final step. You must let go. And this is why I think you find people who are powerful manifestors, for instance, like Steven Spielberg, right? Steven Spielberg is working on 2 million projects at once. In fact, I heard a story that when he was shooting Indiana Jones, he was thinking of Schindler's List. He was already starting that light cast. That's how masters, master wizards, master magicians, master manifestors, that's how they do it. They feel the wish, they set it off, okay, they trust that God consciously will do it, and they let go like God, and they move on to the next one. And they move on to the next one. One focused wish, heartfelt desire, send it off, and wait. What do you wait for? The first response. So you say, oh, I really want this. And then you get something in that's similar to that, kind of looks like that, not quite what you want. When you get the response from God consciousness, that's when you update and send back. But what people do is update, 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 never let go, never let go. How's it going? Checking in on it. Let God do it. Let go and let God. Move on to the next piece of magic. And when God Universe is ready for you to add to the formula, you will get a clear feedback from the universe. All right, folks, that wraps up my top 10. I hope this was very helpful. We're going to get expanding on this topic. Go out there and like cast and tell me how you've done. And until then, live, love, be.